Hey guys, Jacob Armand here, and I have a quick presentation for you today called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay, so what is KISS? Well, it's an acronym for Keep It Simple, Stupid, which is a design principle noted by the US Navy in 1960. How do I know that? I just looked it up on Wikipedia. The KISS principle states that most systems work best if they are kept simple rather than made complex. Therefore, simplicity should be a key goal in design and unnecessary complexity should be avoided, which seems like a good idea to me. So I'd like to submit and ask the question, why not apply the same design principle for earning money? Now, we tend to assume things are complicated, at least I know I have. In the past, I've looked at something and just assumed it would be too complicated or difficult for me to understand. The truth was, I just needed to break that thing down into its basic elements. I was sort of looking at it from a zoomed out perspective, seeing the end result and only focusing on the emergent complexity that was apparent. I'll explain that in a moment. So there's me staring at something, assuming it's too complicated for me to understand. So what is emergent complexity? Well, let's consider some simple mathematics, alright? If I gave you the sum 1 plus 1, I'm pretty sure that very quickly you'd be able to respond with the correct answer, which is 2. You know, I mean, let's face it, anybody should be able to answer that question, at least I hope so. What if we consider then that some more simple mathematics, but just lots of simple mathematics, okay, lots of it. Let's consider the sum 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus blah 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 blah. Okay. Now if you looked at that sum, you'd probably say dot 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 dot. Okay. George Bush again. I'm sorry for picking on George Bush. He's just an easy target, alright? The thing is though that with that particular sum, you know, that I just showed you, you would get there in the end, wouldn't you? If you sat down and thought about it, broke it down into its parts, took your time over it, applied simple logic and were patient, you would figure out the answer. And I'm quite sure that you'd also get the answer right. So, in summary then, complexity really is just an opinion. If I decide to look at something in a complicated way, then it's complicated. However, if I actually break the thing down and consider it from its constituent parts, it can actually be simple. In fact, everything is simple really, we just perceive it as complex, right? I mean, look at this. This is a picture of some code of some kind. And, you know, at a glance, if you knew nothing about code and you looked at that, you might say, well, that's just so complex. Just imagine if this picture was like epically huge and all you could see anywhere you looked was just code like this, right? You'd probably be like, there's no way I'm going to figure this out. You know, there's just absolutely no way. And then the truth is that it's actually just a lot of simple things together. You know, they're simple things, but just lots of them. Now, in truth, computers actually come down to only two things, which is a 0 or a 1. It's called binary, a 0 or a 1, right? Yes or no. And while when you look at that picture, you may see like loads and lots of ones that collectively look quite complicated. And its primary, you know, its principal source, the 0 and 1 is actually really simple. And that's the case for computers. They are just really simple, alright? But if you put all those 0s and 1s together in a constructive way, we can create awesome stuff. Now, I'm sure you've all seen the film The Matrix. Epic film, and I think it really nails that explanation, you know, in terms of if we understand the core premise, the basic system of our reality, we can have power over it. So let's make a commitment here, if you will. Next time somebody shows you something, alright, if your immediate reaction is, wow, that looks really complicated, just take a moment and just consider that if you actually broke it down, were patient, and invested the time required, you would figure it out and come to understand it. If you just took the time that was required, you would come to figure it out and you would understand it. Now, I'd like to submit in this presentation that earning money can be simple too. Let's talk for a moment about Empower Network and the Prosperity team. When a lot of people hear about a prosperity formula, their reaction can be one of skepticism. Much of this could be related to the fact that we can assume earning money and the business is complicated. We can assume that it's something we'll never figure out for ourselves. And as a result, we can rely on someone else to do it and simply pay us a wage for the tasks which we think we are capable of doing. So let's make another commitment together right now. Let's just be open to the idea that business and earning lots of money can not be complicated. Let's take some responsibility and just allow the idea that we are capable of generating wealth for ourselves. Empower Network and the Prosperity team is simply a vehicle we can use to do just that. Really what's required is commitment, focus, consistency, and hard work. Yes, I said work. Now, the scam factor. A lot of people seem to look at Empower Network and assume it's a scam. One reason for this, I think, is because they assume its simplicity is too good to be true. What they fail to understand is while it is simple, it does require work. It does require dedication, and it does not mean that you can just press a button and money comes flying magically into your bank account. And let me just share with you the biggest does of all, right? I can confirm that if you apply yourself, if you are prepared to work, if you are prepared to be consistent at that work, if you are prepared to take daily action towards your goals, if you are always teachable and open to learn, and if you're open enough to just allow somebody who has already achieved success in their life to show you another way, then it does work. And it can work for you. Alright? Now here's a call to action. What I'd like you to do is click the link below this presentation, enter your email address, and watch a cool video, it is really a cool video, in which my friends John Pemberthy and Dave Sharp explain the prosperity formula in much detail and share their stories, alright? And let's make a final commitment right now that things don't have to be complicated, alright? Click the link below. My name's Jacob Armand. I really hope you enjoyed this presentation. Have a beautiful day and never, ever, 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 ever give up on your dreams, alright? See you later.